millions of users. Okay, so if there's no obligations of interconnection, and then suppose there's a new user, there's one citizen, potential user, that has not subscribed to any of the networks. So one day, when he decides to subscribe to one of the telecom services, which network will he choose? Chances are it's more likely that his friends, his family members are more likely network A because he has much more users. For example, and this is just one of not so extreme case. For example, like the situation in Taiwan in the past, if all like in the fixed telephone networks, maybe there are I cannot remember, maybe 6 million, and others maybe just 1 million or fewer than 1 million. So the chances are it's more likely that your friends and your family members are in this network. So if you subscribe to this network and without interconnection, you cannot you cannot communicate with them. Which network will you choose? You will choose this one. Okay. So this is one of the reflections of network effect into this situation. So besides the provision of the idea of semi-universal services, there are also some competition issues in imposing interconnection obligations because of the network effect, because of the so-called network externality. So these are the reasons why the regulator want to impose the obligation of interconnection. And then there are also the obligations of LLU, the so-called the local loop unbundling. Like we have talked about last time, unbundling means to break up the networks into elements. So why is there a need to break up those networks? Well, later in this semester, we will have special topic discussions about LLU, about interconnection, about any other major topics in telecoms. But here we just briefly discuss about it. So we know about local loops. So the local loop means this section in red. And as we have discussed several times in the past, local loop is difficult to install by the new users, by the new telcos. So it's kind of a bottleneck, difficult for the new telcos to duplicate this section. So the most common practice is to open this local loop to be leased, to be rented by competitors, by the new telcos. So the illustration here is actually so the illustration here is actually in this black square. So there are facilities and network here, like the main distribution frame. In case this is the main distribution frame. As you can see, these are the frames for the cable and for the lines to connect to here and to distribute and to connect and to distribute. So there are main distribution frame NDF in the exchange room here, and also in the end user's premises. But this is just a very brief overlook. In fact, the application of local loop unbundling involves a very complicated combination of networks and facilities. And how should I put this? Well, actually there are four under the definition by ITU, the International Telecommunications Union. There are four major kinds of local loop unbundling. It involves different kind of unbundling about the elements, about the networks here. So by four different kinds of local loop unbundling. Well, I have to draw another illustration. Okay, so this is the exchange room here. So the blue networks are the networks owned by the original telco. So the unbundling of local loop means to, so these are their machine facilities such as NDF and other machines and facilities. So unbundling means break these networks and